Jay had never planned to get married, especially not to someone he barely knew. But sometimes in this world, personal choices came second to family and business. Jay was one of the most feared mafia bosses in the city, and his family had been involved in a dangerous business conflict with Vine's family for months. Instead of letting situation turn into something worse, both families made a deal, a marriage, a contract marriage. Jay and Vine would get married, their families would work together, and in return both sides would protect each other's interests. It was nothing romantic. There was no love story behind it. It was simply a contract between two families. Vine had agreed because she had no other choice. Jay had agreed because he knew it was easier way to end conflict. The wedding was quiet and private. There was no grand celebrations, no emotional promises, and no sweet words between them. After the ceremony, Jay simply looked at his new wife and told her she could live however she wanted. Jay, you don't have to pretend this marriage is something it isn't. Ryan looked at him quietly. Jay, we made a deal. I'll respect you and I expect the same from you. You can have your own room, your own space, and your own life. His words should have made her feel relieved, and they did. But there was still something about Jay that made her nervous. He was intimidating without even trying. He was tall, serious, and rarely smiled. His eyes could become frighteningly cold when he was angry. Maya knew he had never been cruel to her. He had never shouted at her. He had never forced her to do anything. Still, she found herself becoming nervous whenever he was around. During their first few weeks of marriage, they lived almost like strangers. Jay usually left early in the morning and returned late at night. Vine spent most of her time at home. Jay always made sure she had everything she needed. If she mentioned liking something, it would somehow appear at home the next day. If she needed a car, one was waiting outside. If she wanted to go somewhere, a driver was arranged. He never asked her for anything in return, but their conversations were still short. One evening, Vine was sitting in the living room when Jay came home. Jay walked inside wearing a black suit, his expression serious. Two of his men followed him, talking quietly about something. Vine looked at him for a moment before lowering her eyes. Jay noticed. He always noticed more than she thought. Jay, did you eat? Vine nodded. Vine, yes. Jay, good. That was all. He walked toward his study. Vine relaxed only after he disappeared. She didn't know why she reacted like that. Jay had never given her any reason to be afraid. Maybe it was simply because she knew who he was. Later that night, Vine came downstairs to get some water. She was walking past Jay's study when she heard his voice. His tone was completely different, cold and sharp. She could not hear the other person clearly, but Jay's voice became harsher. Jay, if someone touches my family, you deal with it immediately. Do I make myself clear? Vian's finger tightened around the glass in her hand. She knew he was talking about his work. She knew he was not talking about her. Still, hearing that cold voice made her heart beat faster. She quietly turned around. But before she could reach the stairs, Jay came out of the study. He had finished the call. Jay, Vian. She stopped immediately. Jay looked at her. Vian, I was just getting water. Jay nodded. Jay, you don't have to explain yourself. Vian gave him a small smile. Vian, good night. She quickly walked upstairs. He had noticed it before, but tonight it was more obvious. She was afraid of him. He just had not understood how much. The next morning, Jay found Vian sitting at the breakfast table. He sat across from her. For a few minutes, neither spoke. Then Jay noticed she was barely touching her food. Jay, are you not hungry? One shook her head. Ryan, I am. Jay, then eat. His tone was normal to him, but Ryan immediately picked up her fork. Jay noticed the reaction. He sighed quietly. Jay, Ryan? She looked up. Jay, relax. Ryan gave him a nervous smile. Ryan, I am relaxed. Jay knew she wasn't. He wanted to ask her about it, but he didn't want to make her more uncomfortable, so he let it go. For the next few days, Jay quietly watched her. He noticed how she moved aside whenever he walked toward her. He noticed how she lowered her voice whenever they spoke. He noticed how she sometimes looked at him before answering, almost as if checking his mood. And then one evening, he finally understood. Jay returned home after dealing with a serious problem involving one of his men. He was already angry when he entered the house. His phone rang again. Jay answered immediately. Jay, what happened? His voice was cold. He listened for a few seconds before his jaw tightened. Jay, you had one job. Ryan was coming downstairs when she heard him. She stopped. Jay, fix it before tonight. I don't care how you do it. He ended the call and turned around. His eyes landed directly on Ryan. She froze. Jay took one step toward her. Ryan instinctively took one step backwards. Jay stopped. For a moment, neither of them said anything. He looked at her face. She looked genuinely frightened. Something inside him dropped. Jay, are you scared of me? Ryan immediately shook her head. Ryan, no. Jay, don't lie to me. His voice was softer this time. Ryan looked down. Jay again moved closer. Jay, have I ever hurt you? Ryan shook her head. Jay, have I ever threatened you? Another shake. Jay, then tell me why you look at me like you are waiting for me to hurt you. Ryan swallowed. She didn't know what to say. Finally, she whispered the truth. Ryan, I know you wouldn't hurt me. Jay waited. Ryan, but sometimes your voice scares me. Jay's expression changed immediately. Ryan, and when you are angry, you look so different. I know it's not because of me, but I'm still scared. Jay stood silently. For the first time, he felt genuinely guilty about something he hadn't even realized he was doing. He looked at his wife, the woman he had married because of a deal, and realized she had been living beside him while constantly trying not to make him upset. Jay, you should have told me. Ryan, I didn't want to cause problems. Jay, you are not a problem. This time Ryan didn't move away. Jay, whatever I'm outside this house doesn't matter when I'm with you. His voice was gentle. Jay, you don't have to be afraid of me. Ryan looked into his eyes. Jay, I may be a dangerous man to everyone else, but I'll never be dangerous to you. And if my voice ever scares you, tell me. I'll stop. A tiny smile appeared on her face. Ryan, okay. Jay smiled silently. It was the first real smile she had seen from him. Jay, good. That night, Ryan went to bed earlier than usual. She lay under the blanket staring at the ceiling. A few minutes later, Jay entered the bedroom. He had changed into comfortable clothes and looked much calmer than earlier. He noticed Ryan immediately becoming tense. Jay, I'm not going to bother you. Ryan looked at him. Jay, I just want to sleep. He walked toward the other side of bed. Before lying down, he looked at her. Jay, can I hold you? Ryan blinked. She had not expected the question. Why? Why? Jay, because I think you need to learn that you are safe with me. Ryan hesitated, then she slowly nodded. Jay removed his shirt and carefully moved closer. Ryan became shy. He wrapped one arm around her waist and pulled her against his chest. Ryan's body was tense at first. Jay gained pressure. He simply held her. Jay smiled. Jay, still scared? Ryan shook her head. Ryan, a little. She gave her another gentle kiss on her forehead. Jay, then I'll stay until you are not. Ryan smiled softly. For the first time since their marriage began, she allowed herself to relax completely into his arms. Neither of them knew that the simple act would change their relationship forever. The room was quiet, with only the soft sound of the rain outside the window. Ryan was still lying against Jay's chest, listening to his heartbeat. She had expected the night to feel awkward. Instead, it felt strangely peaceful. Jay kept one arm around her waist while his other hand gently moved through her hair. He wasn't saying much. He seemed perfectly content just holding her. Ryan, are you really going to stay like this all night? Jay looked down at her with a small smile. Jay, if you want me to. Ryan, your arm might hurt. Jay, I don't care. Ryan smiled. Ryan, you say that now. Jay, I'll still say it in the morning. She laughed quietly. He looked at her for a moment before leaning down and pressing a soft kiss to her forehead. Then he kissed her cheek. Ryan smiled grew. Jay, what? Ryan, nothing. Jay, you are smiling. Ryan, because you are being different. Jay, different? How? Ryan, you are supposed to be scary. Jay stared at her for a second before laughing softly. Jay, apparently I am failing. Ryan giggled. Ryan, a little. Jay gently pinched her cheek. Jay, good. He pulled her closer again. Ryan rested her head against his bare chest. She could feel the warmth of his skin beneath her cheek. After a while, Jay noticed her eyes becoming heavy. Jay, sleep. Ryan, I'm not sleepy. Jay, your eyes are barely open. Ryan, I'm still awake. Jay smiled. Jay, of course you are. He kissed the top of her head. Ryan closed her eyes. She expected to fall asleep quickly, but something kept her awake. Maybe it was because she was still getting used to being close to him. After a few minutes, she whispered his name. Ryan. Jay. Jay. Ryan. Can I ask you something? Jay. Anything. Ryan. Did you really mean what you said earlier? Jay immediately understood what she meant. Jay, about you being safe with me? She nodded. Jay looked down at her seriously. Jay, every word. He gently lifted her chin so she could look at him. Jay, our marriage started because of a deal. I knew that. I guess that doesn't mean I get to treat you like a part of the deal. Jay, you're my wife. I will protect you, respect you, and make sure you never have to be afraid of me. Ryan smiled. Ryan, thank you. Jay leaned closer and kissed her forehead. Jay, you don't have to thank me. Then his lips moved to her cheek. Ryan smiled shyly. Jay kissed the other cheek. Ryan, Jay, what? Ryan, you're kissing me a lot. Jay smiled. Jay, I'm making up for all the times you were scared of me. Ryan laughed softly. Ryan, that's not how it works. Jay, it works for me. He leaned closer and kissed her lips gently. It was a short, soft kiss. When he pulled away, Wine looked at him with surprised eyes. Jay, too much? Wine shook her head. Wine, no. Jay smiled. He kissed her again, this time a little longer. His hand remained gently against her waist, never rushing her. When they separated, Wine hid her face against his chest. Jay chuckled. Jay, why are you hiding? Wine, because you are making me shy. Jay, you are cute when you are shy. Wine, don't say that. Jay, why? Wine, because then I'll get more shy. Jay laughed quietly and hugged her tighter. The rest of the night passed peacefully. At some point, Wine fell asleep in his arms. Jay stayed awake for a while, looking down at her. She looked completely peaceful now. The same woman who had once stepped backward when he came near her was sleeping comfortably against his chest. Jay gently brushed a strand of hair away from her face. Jay, you really were scared of me. He kissed her forehead, but never again. Eventually, Jay fell asleep too. Several hours later, Ryan woke up. The first thing she noticed was warmth. The second thing she noticed was an arm wrapped tightly around her waist. She opened her eyes and realized she was still pressed against Jay's chest. She smiled. She tried to move slightly. Jay immediately tightened his arm around her. Ryan froze. Jay was still asleep. Ryan, Jay? He didn't answer. She tried moving again. This time Jay pulled her even closer without opening his eyes. Jay, stay. His voice was sleepy and low. Ryan smiled. Ryan, you're awake? Jay, weirdly. Ryan, you're holding onto me too tightly. Jay losing his arm immediately. Jay, sorry. Ryan turned around to face him. Ryan, you don't have to apologize. Jay opened his eyes. He looked at her for a few seconds before smiling. Jay, morning. Ryan, morning. Jay gently touched her cheek. Jay, how are you feeling? Ryan, good. Jay, still scared? Ryan smiled. Ryan, no. Jay's expression softened. Jay, good. Ryan looked at him for a moment. Ryan, you knew you're actually very cuddly. Jay raised an eyebrow. Jay, don't tell anyone. Ryan laughed. Ryan, the terrifying mafia boss is actually a giant teddy bear. Jay pulled her closer. Jay, only for you. Ryan smiled. Jay kissed her forehead, then her cheek, then the tip of her nose. Ryan giggled. Ryan, one more. Jay, one more what? She pointed at her lips. Jay smiled. Jay, that? Ryan nodded. Jay leaned closer and kissed her softly. Ryan wrapped her arms around his neck, returning the kiss. When they pulled away, Jay rested his forehead against hers. Jay, I think I'm getting used to this. Ryan, to what? Jay, waking up with you. Ryan smiled, fading into something softer. Ryan, me too. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Ryan remembered something. Ryan, Jay, Jay, Ryan. Our marriage was supposed to be just a tale. Jay's eyes remained on hers. Ryan, what happens when the deal ends? Jay went quiet. That question had been waiting between them from the beginning. He had always known there would be an end date, but now, for the first time, he hated the thought of it. Jay gently cupped her cheek. Jay, I don't know what the contract says. Ryan looked down. Jay lifted her chin again. Jay, I know what I want. Ryan, what? Jay smiled softly. Jay, I don't want you to leave. Her eyes widened. Jay, I know this marriage started as a deal, but somewhere along the way you became someone I don't want to lose. Ryan's heart fluttered. She smiled and leaned closer. Ryan, then maybe we don't have to follow the deal anymore. Jay looked at her. Jay, maybe we don't. He pulled her into his arms again. Ryan rested against him, no longer nervous, no longer wondering whether she was safe. She knew. The man everyone feared was the same man who had spent the entire night holding her carefully, kissing her forehead whenever she stayed, and making sure she never felt alone. Jay kissed her hair. Jay, you know something? Ryan, what? Jay, I'm never letting you sleep alone again. Ryan laughed. Ryan, you mean you're never letting me escape your cuddles? Jay, exactly. Ryan, you're impossible. Jay smiled and kissed her forehead. Jay, and you're stuck with me. This time Ryan didn't feel trapped by the marriage deal. She simply smiled and cuddled closer. And somewhere between the contract and quiet nights, Jay stopped being the husband she was forced to marry. He had become the person she wanted to stay with.